Edirne is one of the most important cities of the Ottoman Empire. As such, it is adorned with numerous significant historical structures, most notably the Selimiye Mosque, listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The city, with its mosques, bridges, baths, madrasas, and mansions, resembles an open-air museum. One of these important structures is the complex built by the 8th Ottoman Sultan, Sultan Bayezid II, on the banks of the Tunka River, which has been preserved and reached today. When Sultan Bayezid II arrived in Edirne for the Ackerman expedition, he ordered the construction of this structure in response to the public's requests for a hospital. The foundation of these buildings was laid in 1484, and they were completed in just 4 years, thanks to the economic and technical power of the time, opening their doors in 1488. The complex, one of the most important healthcare, social, and cultural structures of the time, consists of various sections, including a mosque, hospital, medical school, dining hall, guest house, storage, bathhouse, and a bridge. This complex, which operated continuously for 400 years from its opening in 1488 until the Russo-Turkish War of 1877, served as a place of worship in its mosque, a center for healing in its hospital, a school for training doctors in its medical school, and a place where the poor were fed in its dining hall. The most important unit of this kuliye is its hospital. It holds an exceptionally significant place in history, both architecturally and regarding medical practices. Built with a central plan using architectural techniques far ahead of its time, every aspect of the hospital's needs was meticulously thought out and implemented. Similar constructions were only seen in the West 200 years later. Another important feature of this hospital is the treatment methods used and the medical knowledge of the time. The treatment of patients through music, the sound of water, and pleasant scents are among the key characteristics of this hospital. The tradition of music therapy in the Turkish world, spanning from Ibn Sina and Farabi to the Seljuks and Ottomans, was successfully applied in this hospital for the treatment of both physical and mental health disorders. A group of 10 musicians and vocal artists would perform on the music stage 3 days a week, playing and singing different musical modes tailored to each illness. An important feature of this hospital was the use of engagement and pleasant scents in the treatment process. The fragrances of the flowers grown in the hospital's garden were another integral part of the therapy. The famous Turkish traveler Evliya Çelebi, upon his visit to Edirne in 1652, praised the hospital, saying, "There is such a hospital there that it cannot be described with words, nor written with a pen." This hospital has been continuously providing healing to patients for centuries. Evliya Çelebi also wrote, "In the rooms of this hospital, built with such care and attention, there are rich and poor, old and young, all suffering from various ailments. In the spring, during the season of madness, lovers who have fallen into the deep sea of love in Edirne are brought to this hospital upon the doctor's orders, bound to their beds with golden and silver chains, roaring like lions as they lie there. Some gaze at the flowing water in the pool and speak interesting words, while others listen to the chirping of thousands of birds in the garden surrounding the arched dome, and the mentally ill begin to cry out with their wild voices." In the early years of this fascinating hospital, the staff consisted of 1 chief doctor, 2 doctors, 2 surgeons, 2 ophthalmologists, and 2 pharmacists. The chief doctor received a daily salary of 30 Ottoman money from the foundation, while the other physicians were paid 15 per day. The total staff numbered 21, and the hospital accommodated 32 beds. For many years, this hospital served as a place where patients with all kinds of ailments found healing. In later years, however, it evolved into a center dedicated solely to the treatment of mental and psychological disorders. The medical school was one of the most prominent educational institutions of its time, training doctors for many Ottoman hospitals. It was regarded as one of the elite schools in the Ottoman Empire. The school had a professor, an assistant, and a librarian, and it educated 18 students. The renowned Turkish traveler Evliya Çelebi wrote about the medical school. The students in the rooms of the medical school within the complex are well-educated doctors who always speak of scholars like Plato, Socrates, Phibos, Aristotle, Galen, and Pythagoras. Each of them diligently reads valuable medical texts, striving to discover remedies for people's ailments. Many of the medical books taught here, personally donated by Sultan Bayezid II, have survived to this day. 37 volumes detailing the medical practices of that era are now preserved in the manuscripts library within the Selimiye Mosque. The complex, which operated continuously until the Russo-Turkish War of 1877-78, was temporarily closed when Edirne was occupied by the Russians, and the patients being treated there were sent to Istanbul. Although it reopened after the occupation, it had turned into a neglected institution where mental patients were chained and isolated. This was due to the empire's decline and the collapse of the foundation system. The hospital, which had been left to its own fate for many years, was allocated to Trakya University in the 1980s, and some of its sections were used as educational areas. Later, in 1997, it was opened as the Health Museum. The Health Museum has achieved significant success despite its young age. One of these is receiving the 2004 European Museum Award from the Council of Europe, one of the most prestigious awards in the field of museology. In 2007, the museum was honored with the Best Presentation Award by the European Association of Cultural Heritage and the Excellence Club. The increasing number of visitors each year sets a record for museums of this category in Turkey. This museum, which undertakes the mission of being a bridge between Eastern and Western European cultures, will continue to convey the importance of Edirne, the city of sultans, in the history of our medicine to future generations, and make significant contributions to world cultural heritage.